Ready or not. Ready or not. Here I come. Can't hide. Gonna find you and then yo. I play my enemies like a game of chess where I rest. No stress if you don't make sense.
Happy Sunday, you guys, and thank you all for tuning in to this week's episode of the Journey Podcast, where I am your host, Kiara. I hope you guys got to tune in to Talk About It Thursday. That actually was a very emotional episode for me, and I just wanted to thank you guys again for just being there for me and being supportive on this journey again. I know I said it on Thursday's episode, but I can't say it enough, man. As always, I'm grateful to be in your presence. I'm grateful for those that found the time to tune in. I love y'all. We are going to go ahead. If you haven't already checked that episode out, please go back and check it out. Also check out the shorts that are on YouTube, as well, if you guys get time. We are gonna go ahead and dive into today's episode, though. And also, I want to tell you guys, please make sure you go check out the website. There are new updates, which I'm gonna share at the end of this episode as well. So, today we are talking about forgiveness because forgiveness is important. That has been a major part of my journey, thus far. And so, yeah, we're gonna just go ahead and dive in. Of course, I'm gonna give you guys a definition. So, what is forgiveness? Forgiveness is the deliberate decision to let go of resentment and anger towards someone who has harmed you, freeing yourself from the negative impact of that offense. So, it is a process for the forgiver. It's not a sign of approval for the offender's action. Key aspects of forgiveness include accepting that harm occurred, not forgetting it, and choosing to move on rather than seeking revenge, which promotes peace of mind and emotional well-being for the forgiver. I actually really like that. Especially the part where it says freeing yourself, because forgiveness is not for necessarily for the other party. And I think I kind of touched on this before in a previous episode, where we just kind of lightly talked about forgiveness and how important it is. So again, forgiveness frees you. So forgiveness is for you. It does not mean that you are okay with what happened. It doesn't mean that you are accepting. It just means that you're saying, okay, whatever happened. That's not something that I can change. I have to move forward, you know. And so what forgiveness looks like is sometimes, like I said before, accepting an apology that was never even really given. You know, sometimes people don't even sometimes people are so messed up and unable to take accountability for their actions that they can't even acknowledge that they did something that was wrong because they don't feel like they did anything wrong. Here I was, and I'm gonna get into a time where I thought that forgiveness looked like me confronting the other party, the person that needed to be forgiven, letting them know how they made me feel and XYZ. And so I'm gonna get into that in a minute, but yeah, forgiveness looks like letting it go. Not forgetting it, but not just sitting there holding on to it and keeping it at the forefront of your life, where it's holding you back from moving forward. So, a lot of things happen to us all in life, honestly, where, um, the need to forgive somebody, is there. And so, um, it has to be done. As hard as it is sometimes, because it's like, there's a saying, there's some things that you just can't come back from, but forgiveness does not mean coming back. Forgiveness means letting go. And so if it that doesn't always mean we got to be friends again, or we got to be I got to talk to you every day, and we got to we got to be cool or whatever the case may be. Forgiveness is just accepting the fact that whatever happened happened and moving forward from what happened. That doesn't Forgiveness does not necessarily revolve involve rekindling a relationship that has been broken, or rekindling a bond that has been broken, or um trying to do it again. That does not mean that just because I forgive you does not mean that we're back on. It's because, like the saying is, some things you can't come back from. But you can forgive somebody without having to come back. If there's no coming back, there's no coming back. But I do forgive you, because I felt like you wronged me. So once upon a time, a long time ago, um, just for me, a time where I thought that forgiveness looked like confronting the person and just letting them know what they did and how they made me feel. Um, I went to the person and I told them, this is how you've been making me feel. And this was after years and years of buildup of them making me feel this way, and me finally getting the courage to say, hey, this is how you're making me feel. Because it's like, instead of them apologizing, they would just come back and just act like, yeah, yeah, hey, how you doing? And it's like, wait, did you forget what you just did? Did you forget what you just did to me? And so I thought that maybe this person was not aware of how their actions were affecting me, and how their actions have affected me in the past. And so, excuse me, um here I was um here I was, saying, you know what, today's the day. And I went ahead, said something. I was like, hey, this is how you've been making me feel. I don't like it. Man, I went back for years and years of telling the person, like, yeah, and then this year, and then that year, and then you did that, and then you did this, and you know what? It hurts my feelings. And after I sat there and I said all the things that I said, their response to me was, oh, I didn't know you felt like that. It wasn't, you know what? I apologize for making you feel like that. It wasn't it wasn't any reassurance. That wasn't my intentions to make you feel like that, or whatever the case may be. It was just straight. Oh, I didn't know you felt like that. What? Cuz I mean, you didn't know, but you couldn't tell in the breaks that we had. You just thought that I was taking breaks because uh I just needed a break from you, or why would I need a break from you, you know? This person's role in my life was, I would say that it was an important role. And so, maybe they didn't value the role that they played as much as I did. But, yeah, their response was basically, and then I said, you know what, I'm trying it again. A couple of years later, tried it again, and they told me that it was my fault that, um, that they were the way that they were to me. They said to me that I didn't allow them to be better, basically. Um, and so I just was like, right? When I say a complete slap in the face, and this person is definitely old enough, to be able, and smart enough, to be able to, process the emotions that I shared with them, and just kind of tell, just as a person of their age and their, um and like I said, who they were to me, um it just was like, I expected more. And that was my problem, expecting, forgiving them with expectation. So it was hard for me to forgive somebody that was not sorry. It was hard to forgive somebody that blamed me for why they were the way that they were. And so, that was definitely the hardest, um, thing that I had to let go. The hardest person that I ever had to forgive. And as that person, as I valued their role in my life, just seeing what that role looks like from their point of view and mine, it was different. And so I had to pray because it was not easy. I would be lying if I said I just was like, oh yeah, I just forgave them and I said that I let it go, because I didn't. I had a really hard time. I was frustrated. I wanted to, um, I wanted to, smash them up. Like, I wanted to do all the things that were negative. I wanted to say all the things that were negative. I wanted to argue with them. Um, but I had to pray. I had to pray my way into forgiving them because it was hard to. Um, like I said, that was the hardest thing. That was one of the hardest things that I've ever had to do. Because I just expected more out of them. Um, I expected it to be, I expected them to be better than that. And so when you are trying to operate in forgiveness, you have to go into that without expectations. Because that process doesn't always look, how that process looks for me might not, it may not look for you. And so, you know, they could apologize, the person that you need to forgive, they could verbally apologize, but then again, they could not, and you have to be prepared for that. I went into that unprepared. I went into that with expectation, and so I got my feelings hurt because my expectations weren't met, and so um, yeah. So I found it in my heart eventually, over time, um, to forgive them. And what does that look like for the person and I today? We do not talk at all. Um, if they needed me, they probably could not depend on me. Um, they probably just couldn't. I probably, I, and I'm not, I wouldn't, and I'm not, I have no anger in my heart towards them. I just know, the type of person that they are. I know what they're capable of. And I, vowed not, when I said that I forgive them, I vowed not to set myself up to, be in a position where, they lure me back into that cycle. So they would get me in the cycle of, oh my God, I love you, you're the best. Um, you know, I want to be there. And I just want to show up, show up, show up. And then it's like a cold letdown. And so, in order to prevent myself or my children from experiencing um, that letdown that was for me, um, I just, I just say, you know what, yeah, it's okay to love people from a distance. I still love that person, um, but like I said, they cannot call me today and think that, you know, everything's good. Yeah, I forgive you, but everything isn't what it was, and the value for the relationship that I have is non-existent. I don't value that relationship, and it just is what it is. I'm not angry. I'm not hurt anymore about it. I've accepted what has happened, and I have accepted that it is what it is. And so I'm grateful. I'm grateful that God gave me what I needed to be able to forgive that person, because I needed that. Um, I couldn't move forward. I couldn't even see my own value because I what do I want to say? I allowed myself to see my value from the way they saw my value. And I didn't feel worthy of a lot of the things that I know that I deserve. I know in my heart that I deserve. I know in my mind that I deserve it. I know in my soul that I deserve the things that um and I'm worth everything that I think that I'm worth, and everything that God thinks that I'm worth. And so their value of me is no longer the value that I've placed on myself, because I, like I said, I valued our relationship, I valued their opinion, I valued their thoughts, their feelings, and so forth and so on. And so anything in their eyes that they saw was right to me, and everything in their eyes that they saw was wrong to me. And I they could tell me that outside was pink, I wouldn't look at it, I would just believe it, because that's how much I trusted that person. Um, and that's how much I loved that person. And so I still love them, but just from the distance that I need to love them. And so and even if they were to be in my presence today, I'd still, I still be respectful. I still speak. I'd still I still be cordial. But as far as us just kicking it on the phone, hey, blah 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 blah, no, because I just I feel so I feel like, as a parent, and this is a mom or a dad, as a parent, the way the relationships that you maintain, how they affect you, it can possibly affect your children. And so if somebody hurts you and you're down and you're just, not too spunked up about it, or breaks your heart, or whatever the case may be, you still have to show up as a parent. And so if I show up broken, then my kids are experiencing a broken version of me. And so I try my best these days to take care of myself. Take care of my mental health. I'm so big on mental health, guys, because for a long time, as I kind of explained, my mental health was shot, okay? It was not worth two pennies, okay? But I learned that I have to forgive. I have to walk in forgiveness, and I teach my children the same thing. Um, there's no need to hold a grudge. At the end of the day, I've seen so many people in life. Life is too short to sit there and hold that anger in your heart and that anger in your mind. And also, the things that I've had to forgive people for, guys, is so wild. I had somebody tell me, I'm really big on, in your adult life, not allowing your childhood um to identify who you are. And so I shared this thing, and I was like, something said, I forget the exact words, but it said something in the lines, along the lines of, you know, at 30 something years old, blaming your childhood for why you suck as an adult, um, is crazy. And so I shared it, and I was like, get the help that you need. Um, you don't have to sit there and blame your childhood for why you are a messed up adult. So I shared it and I said that. And then this girl, she commented, and she was so like upset. She was like, everybody doesn't have the same resources that you have. And I was like, resources? Girl, I was broke. What resources? I use the internet. Everybody got the internet. If you online, if you on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all of other things, you got internet access. Okay. If you need help, professional help, or whatever the case may be, get on the internet, get off of social media, go on Google, go on mental health, go to the mental health, like mental health help, assistance with, therapy, and find those resources are there. A lot of people have insurance, even if you don't have insurance through your job, even if you got Medicaid, those things are covered, but you don't know because you don't go look. And so, and if you really wanted it, if you really want something, you're going to look for it. Some people have gotten so comfortable with not trying. And so a big thing for me, what I had to do in order for me to not be sitting here today at almost 33 years old blaming my childhood for why I am whatever way. Um, I had to choose that for me. I had to forgive some people that it was hard to forgive because it was like, come on now. I had to forgive some people that were not sorry. I had to forgive some people that just was like, oh, Kiara seemed like she ain't mad about that no more. Let's just smooth it over and then I can just make a joke and make her laugh and then I'm back in good grace. I had to forgive somebody that did not, that just wasn't sorry. And so that was hard, but I had to do it because I know I had to do it. I had to do it not just for myself, but for my family, the family that I created, so that my kids did not have a parent that, that was just, that was hurt, that was broken, that was unwhole. And so I can't speak for their other parent, but I, I want to walk in forgiveness for them. Even if, like I said, even if it's not for you, do it for those that look up to you. Do it for those that care about you. Do it for those that come from you. And I mean, do it for yourself. Be selfish in that sense. It's okay to be selfish sometimes. It's okay to do something for yourself. So often we're always doing things for others, but here we are in bondage because we couldn't find it in our heart to forgive. So like I said, forgiveness doesn't always look like rekindling things. And like I said, it's hard. And so the process begins praying. Definitely, if you're a spiritual person, praying to whoever it is that you pray to is important. Asking them to give you the mind and the heart to forgive. Um, also just wanting to be free, wanting to move forward in life. You don't have to be where you were 10 years ago. That's probably the worst place to be. Where you were 10 years ago. Where you were when you were a child. Having that same mindset. And so sometimes forgiveness also looks like getting away. Sometimes we sit inside relationships and situationships I'm not just talking about like intimate relationships. I'm talking about even with friends. We sit in things where the person is constantly hurting us in a sense, and we forgive them, but we just continue to maintain that relationship because it's something that we've been doing out of habit, out of like, oh, they're gonna get better. Oh, yeah, they said they were gonna be better. They're gonna, even though you've confronted them, they say, you know what, we ain't doing this no more. We're gonna do better. I'm not gonna be a bad person to you, whatever the case may be. Sometimes that does forgiveness, you forgiving them, looks like getting away from whatever it is that continuously breaks you apart, where you're stuck and left to put yourself back together because even though they're here like, oh yeah, don't worry, I'm gonna fix things, and they fix things, like they temporarily patch it up and then they turn back around and do the same things over and over. Sometimes forgiveness for them from you looks like you letting it go. Sometimes forgiveness looks like, if you're going to say, hey, I forgive you, continuing to bring back up what you forgave them for, you truly didn't forgive them. If you're going to say, hey, I forgive you, you have to be willing to let that go. Don't say I forgive you and say, we'll be like, hey, yeah, I do forgive you. And then turn around when y'all get mad at each other again, you're back saying, well, remember that time when you told me you forgave me. What happened? You take it back? You can't. So make sure when you forgive somebody, if it looks like rekindling, that you forgive them when you are ready to. You don't just forgive somebody just because they say sorry. Just when somebody says, hey, I apologize, that doesn't mean you don't have to say, oh, well, I forgive you. And don't say it's okay because it's not okay. Because oftentimes we respond, somebody say, well, I apologize. And we like, oh, it's okay. No, it's not. Don't say that. Stop saying that. It's not okay. That's not okay. What you did was messed up. Don't do it again. If you want to continue to maintain that relationship with, just because somebody does something and don't get me wrong, people make mistakes. People do make mistakes. And sometimes people are operating out of a place that, that's all they know. So, they don't know any better. They don't know that they're doing something wrong. And so when you bring it to their attention and they offer you that reassurance, you're like, man, I didn't even know that I was making you feel like that. It's okay to forgive them, and that can look like you guys rekindling things or fixing things, because don't get me, people make mistakes sometimes, and that's not okay. But it's not okay to keep making mistakes. um it's okay to stand by someone that is growing and learning. It's okay to teach somebody how you want to be treated, because like I said, sometimes people are operating off of habit. Like, okay, if this is all I know, maybe as a parent, if all I know as a parent um is like what if all I know as a parent is I'm not an affectionate person, I don't know that because I didn't get that and I survived and I was okay, and you're gonna be okay too. But what we that's how we that's how we learn. Sometimes you do have to confront people and let them know, because not everybody's gonna respond from a place of, oh, I didn't know I was making you feel that. Some people are gonna respond, hey, I apologize. This is why I think like that. This is why. And so somebody that can take their time and they can take accountability for their actions, although their actions weren't their intentions. um they didn't intend to make you feel the way their actions made you feel. um it can be fixable, especially if you are willing to be patient with that person and walk them through learning how to be that friend or being that partner or whatever the case may be. Because at the end of the day, guys, we do have to teach people how to love us, because everyone's different. We do have to sometimes teach people that might be older than us how to be better to us. So it's not just, like I said, from a relationships point of view, but also from the point of view of a friend or a parent. Kind of just telling them, hey, you know what? I think that you haven't been the best mom, you haven't been the best dad. This is what I wanted from you, and allowing them to, in a sense, they can't truly fix what they did to you, but maybe when they did it as you were a child, but maybe in your adult life, they can give you those things that you wanted when you were little, now that you are capable of um vocalizing your feelings and your thoughts in that time. And so also maybe showing up better as a grandparent for their grandkids or whatever the case may be. So yeah, that's it, guys. I could go on and on about forgiveness. Again, forgiveness is for you. And so find it in your heart to forgive those that hurt you. um Find it in your heart to forgive those that are not sorry. um Confront people that you feel like you need to confront. And when I say confront, please don't do it in an aggressive way. Pray on it. Make sure you're prepared to go to that person in peace, with understanding that they may not receive you in the way that you intend to come off towards them. And so, yeah, I think we're good on that. And so we're going to go ahead and wrap this episode up. I am so grateful for you guys, per usual. Um, I hope that you guys are walking into an amazing week. I hope somebody gets some good news. If you do, let me know. I want to hear it. I'm so excited about what's to come for us all. Guys, as I said, my birthday is October 27th, which is a Monday. And so what I want to do, I know a lot of people that don't know me personally. Some people were reaching out like, hey, what do you want for your birthday? What I want for my birthday from this community, send me a video. Send me a video saying happy birthday. Give me some encouraging words. It is gonna be on the episode the day before my birthday. So I'm gonna mash up all the videos that I get. And I'm gonna put them on the episode. So if we can get those videos done by at least October 23rd to give me time to do the little mashup, I would appreciate it. That would be the best birthday gift ever. I'm sure I'm gonna cry. I can see myself already crying. I'm already crying in my head, and I'm gonna go cry in my car, because I have to go. And so, happy Sunday. Like I said again, y'all have a good week. I am going to put my Instagram is on the website, thejourneypodcast.life, but I will put my Instagram name on this episode so you guys can get to it a little bit faster. I hope y'all saw the short with Jahara. My baby wanted to be a podcaster. She said, Mommy, we're YouTubers together. I was like, oh, that was so cute, so sweet. So yeah, guys, that is it. Let me give you a little bit of homework. So the homework, a time where you found yourself needing to forgive somebody. Did you forgive them? Have you forgiven those that you feel like, that you know that you need to forgive? Just let me know. I love you guys with my whole heart. You are the best. And I hope that y'all have an amazing week. Thank you. Bye.
Feel like I'm superhuman, lifestyle that show the move. Said I changed, you never knew. Heavy pain and perks abusing. Section 8 whole block was true. Yeah. Respirator, my dog was losing. Never said you moving on. Shit. And I'm like, how'd you do it? I'm from the land, King Joffrey Jr. Wish the plane would happen sooner. I'm too advanced, yeah, I'm the future. Just
Do you watch the Journey podcast? My mom is on there. Like and subscribe to my mommy channel. Thank you.